At my sister's engagement ceremony I watched everyone celebrate the I helped build for her. But when she called me a behind my back, I knew my sacrifices would never matter to her. I'm writing this at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep anymore. Haven't been able to for weeks. My name doesn't matter. What matters is that I destroyed everything good in my over something so selfish that I still can't believe I was that person. It started at my sister Emma's engagement party. I should have been happy for her. I really should have. I'd been working double shifts for 2 years to help her pay for college after dad left. I'd given my own dreams, my own plans because family comes first. That's what mom always said. But standing there in that fancy restaurant, watching Emma laugh with her fiancé David while wearing the dress I helped her buy, something twisted in my chest. Not jealousy exactly. More like emptiness. My girlfriend Sarah was supposed to be there with me. We'd been together for 3 years. Lived together for 1. She was everything good about the reason I smiled when I came home from those brutal construction shifts. But Sarah was working late again at her marketing job, climbing that career ladder I'd never even get to see. That's when I heard it. Emma was talking to David's sister near the bathroom. I was coming back from get another when her voice carried over. My brother. Oh, he's sweet but he's kind of like he'll probably work construction forever. I feel bad that he gave so much for me but honestly, someone had to be realistic about their potential. After everything, after every sacrifice, after choosing her future over mine, the words hit me like a sledgehammer to the gut. I stood there frozen, watching my sister laugh like she hadn't just shredded my self-worth in front of strangers. I should have confronted her. Should have walked away. Should have called Sarah and asked her to pick me early. Instead I did the one thing that would haunt me forever. I texted Melissa. Melissa worked at the coffee shop near my job site. We'd been flirting for weeks. Nothing serious, just attention. The kind of attention that made me feel like maybe I wasn't just Emma's brother or Sarah's boyfriend who couldn't afford nice restaurants. Emma's party is awful. Want to grab a drink? She responded immediately. Thought never ask. The rational part of my brain screamed stop. Angry part whispered that I deserved something good for once. That Sarah wouldn't even notice if I came home late. That Emma already thought I was anyway. I told it was just drinks. Just venting to someone who saw me as more than a walking paycheck or a convenient boyfriend. But I knew. Even as I typed the address of a bar across town I knew exactly what I was doing. I was choosing the nuclear option. The bar was dim and crowded. Melissa looked different outside of her coffee shop uniform. Prettier. More interested. She listened to me complain about Emma, about feeling invisible. About working for people who didn't appreciate it. Too good for all of them, she said, her hand touching my arm. They don't see what I see. God, I was so pathetic. So hungry for those words that I ignored every red flag, every alarm bell, every thought of Sarah waiting at home. When Melissa suggested we get out of there, I said yes. When she invited me to her apartment, I said yes. When she me in her doorway, I back. And when I woke next to her the following morning, the weight of what I'd done crashed down like a building collapse. I'd thrown away 3 years with Sarah. I'd proven Emma right about being I'd become the kind of man I used to judge. For what? For a few hours of feeling wanted. For revenge against people who weren't even there. I drove home in yesterday's clothes practicing explanations I knew wouldn't matter. Sarah's car was already gone. She'd left for work without seeing me stumble in. Part of me was relieved, but relief turned to dread when I found the note on our kitchen counter. Called in sick to spend the day together since seemed upset about Emma's party. Picking breakfast and favorite coffee. Can't wait to hear all about it. Love. She'd taken a sick day, for me, to comfort me after what she thought was just family drama. I crumpled the note in our kitchen sink. That's when I knew there was no coming back from this. No explanation good enough. No apology that would undo what I'd chosen. I traded everything real for something. Everything permanent for something temporary. Everything I actually wanted for something I thought I deserved. And the worst part, Emma was right. I was just not for the reason she thought. The front door opened. Sarah's voice called out, happy and loving and completely unaware that I'd just our future. Honey, I brought favorite everything bagel. I closed my eyes and waited for my world to end. 3 weeks. That's how long I managed to keep the lie alive. 3 weeks of kissing Sarah good morning while tasting betrayal. 3 weeks of her asking why I seemed distant, why I flinched when she touched me, why I couldn't look her in the eyes anymore. We've been different since Emma's party, she said one evening, curled next to me on our couch. Our couch, the one we'd bought together at a thrift store and spent hours arguing about where to put it. Did something happen? Can tell me anything. Anything except the truth. Just work stress. I lied, my arm around her feeling like a weight I didn't deserve to carry. The Riverside Project is me. She believed me because she trusted me. Because in 3 years I'd never given her a reason not to. The guilt was eating me alive from the inside. I couldn't sleep without seeing Melissa's face. Couldn't eat without feeling sick. Couldn't be intimate with Sarah because every touch reminded me of what I'd thrown away. But the worst part wasn't the guilt. It was how easy the lying became. Melissa kept texting. At first I ignored her. Then I told I needed to explain that it was a mistake. Then I found responding because the attention felt like I couldn't quit. Miss, she'd text during my lunch breaks. Can't stop thinking about that night. She'd write when I was sitting next to Sarah watching Netflix. When can I see again? She'd ask when Sarah was in the shower, trusting me enough to leave a phone unlocked next to mine. I should have blocked her number. Should have been honest with Sarah. Should have done anything except what I actually did. I met Melissa again. And again. Each time telling it was the last time. Each time promising I'd end it and confess to Sarah. Each time making it worse. The sneaking around was destroying me. Deleting messages. Making work emergencies. Creating elaborate lies about where I'd been. Sarah wasn't. She knew something was wrong. She just couldn't imagine it was this wrong. Unhappy with us. She asked one night, tears in her eyes. Because if please just tell me. We can work on it. We can go to counseling. I love too much to lose over something we can fix. I wanted to tell her so badly. Wanted to fall to my knees and beg forgiveness and promise to never see Melissa again. Instead I held her and lied. I love to. Everything's fine. Everything was the opposite of fine. The cracks were showing everywhere. I snapped at my coworkers. Stopped calling my mom back. Avoided Emma completely, using my anger at her to justify what I was doing. But Emma wasn't the one I was. Sarah was. Sarah, who had started leaving little notes in my lunch, who had been researching vacation spots she thought I'd enjoy, who had been saving money for a surprise birthday party for me. Sarah, who deserved so much better than what I was giving her. The end came on a Tuesday. I was supposed to meet Melissa after work. Had already texted her, already made another excuse for Sarah, but when I got to the coffee shop where Melissa worked, I saw something that made my freeze. Sarah was there, sitting at a corner table with her laptop, working remotely like she sometimes did when she needed a change of scenery. She hadn't seen me yet, but if Melissa came over, I turned around and practically ran to my truck. Called Melissa and canceled, making some emergency. Drove home shacking, realizing how close I'd come to destroying everything in the most public way possible, but it was already too late. When I got home, Sarah was waiting. No laptop, no warm smile, just sitting at our kitchen table with her arms crossed and her phone in front of her. Melissa from the coffee shop called. She said, her voice steady but her hands trembling. She wanted to know why canceled date. She was very chatty, told me all about how much fun been having together. The room started spinning. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. I was supposed to control this, supposed to find the right words, the right time, the right way to minimize the damage. Sarah, I can explain. Don't. Her voice cracked but she held her hand. Don't dare try to explain this away. 3 years. 3 years I gave everything. I supported dreams. I celebrated successes. I held when Dad left. I loved family like my own. She was crying now, but angry tears, betrayed tears. And this whole time while I was planning our future, where God, how long have been lying to my face. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, couldn't do anything but watch the best thing in my shatter because of my selfishness. A month, I whispered. A mummich. She stood so fast the chair fell backward. A month of coming home to me every night. A month of letting me worry about, comfort, love. A month of making me feel crazy for thinking something was wrong. She was packing her laptop, grabbing her keys, moving with the efficiency of someone who had already made their decision. Sarah, please, let me explain what happened. Let me tell why. She spun around, and I'd never seen her look at me with such disgust. Want to tell me why? Because felt sorry for. Because Emma feelings. Because I wasn't giving enough attention while I was working 60-hour weeks to build the career that would support both of us. She knew. She knew exactly why I'd done it, and it sounded pathetic coming from her mouth. Away everything we built for what? For someone who calls girlfriend to brag about sleeping with. For someone who doesn't even respect enough to keep it private. I hadn't thought about that. About what kind of person calls someone's partner to reveal an affair. About what that said about Melissa's character and mine for choosing her. Sarah was at the door now, her overnight bag in her hand. The bag she kept packed for work trips. The bag I'd helped her pick out for her birthday. I'll be back this weekend for my things, please don't be here. Sarah, wait, please. I made a mistake but I love point. She turned around one last time and her expression was something I'd never seen before. Not anger, not sadness, pity, no, don't, she said quietly. People who love each other don't do this. People who love each other don't spend a month lying and cheating and making their partner feel insane. The door closed behind her with a soft click. I stood there for hours, staring at the space where she'd been. At our home that was now just my place. At the we'd built that I'd demolished for nothing. My phone buzzed. A text from Melissa. Sorry about girlfriend finding out. Want to come over? I blocked her number and my phone across the room. Then I sat on our couch and cried for everything I'd lost. Everything I'd chosen to lose. 6 months later I'm writing this from a studio apartment that smells like cigarettes and broken dreams. The couple upstairs fights every night. The guy next door plays music until 3 a.m. It's exactly what I deserve. Sarah kept her word. She came for her things that weekend while I hid at a bar. Too much of a coward to face her. When I came home half our furniture was gone. The couch we'd argued about. The bookshelf we'd built together. The framed photos of us traveling, laughing, being happy. She left the TV and a note. I hope someday figure out why sabotage everything good in, but I won't be there when due. That was it. 3 years reduced to one sentence. The worst part about losing someone through betrayal isn't the loneliness. It's knowing deserve every second of it. I tried reaching out once. A long text explaining everything. How I'd felt and appreciated. How Emma's words had crushed me. How Melissa had made me feel important for 5 minutes. Sarah responded with one word, blocked. Smart girl. Smarter than I ever gave her credit for. Work became my only escape, but even that couldn't save me. Word got around about what happened. Not the details but enough. My crew started treating me differently. Like I was the kind of guy who couldn't be trusted around their wives at company barbecues. They weren't wrong. The really sick part. I kept thinking about Melissa, not romantically, but like picking at a scab. After Sarah found out Melissa had tried to pursue something real with me. No, we can be together, she'd said, as if destroying my relationship had been the goal all along. When I told her I wasn't interested, she got nasty, called me names, said I was pathetic for crying over Sarah, said no wonder Sarah was already dating someone new. That last part hit like a truck. Sarah was seeing someone. A lawyer from her company, according to Melissa's social media stalking. Someone with ambition. Someone who probably never made her feel crazy for thinking something was wrong. Someone who deserved her. I started drinking more. Not every night, just more. Enough to sleep without dreams of what I'd thrown away. Enough to stop checking Sarah's Instagram every day, looking for signs of her new happiness. The holidays were the worst. Mom invited both Emma and me for Thanksgiving. I almost didn't go, but hiding felt worse than facing everyone. Emma was there with David, showing off her engagement ring. They were planning a spring wedding. Mom was so proud, so happy for her daughter who had everything figured out. Where's Sarah? Mom asked when I arrived alone. I made that green bean casserole she loves. We're broke, I said, not meeting her eyes. Oh honey, what happened? Two were so perfect together. Perfect. We had been perfect together. I said because it's the only true thing I could say. Mom tried to pry for details but Emma interrupted. Mom, some people just aren't meant for long-term relationships, Emma said, her turkey with surgical precision. Not everyone can handle that kind of commitment. The irony was suffocating. Emma, who had called me and acting like my failed relationship, proved her point. Emma, whose college I'd helped pay for, whose dreams I'd supported over my own. I wanted to tell her the truth. Wanted to explain that I destroyed the best thing in my because of her careless words. Wanted her to know that her opinion of me had mattered so much that I'd used it to justify breaking someone else's heart. But that would have meant admitting that I'd heard what she said. That I'd let her words me. That I'd used her casual cruelty as an excuse for my deliberate betrayal. So I said nothing. Ate Mom's cooking in silence while Emma planned her perfect wedding to her perfect fiancé in their perfect. The I'd helped build. The she'd never appreciate. That would go on beautifully without me in it. After dinner, I was washing dishes when Emma cornered me in the kitchen. No, I never liked Sarah anyway, she said quietly, loading the dishwasher. She always acted like she was better than us. Like she was too good for our family. I dropped the plate I was holding. It shattered on the kitchen floor, pieces scattering everywhere. What did just say? Sarah, she was kinda stuck, don't think. Always talking about her career, her goals. Never seemed to appreciate what sacrificed for me. I stared at my sister, this person I'd given everything for, and felt something inside me. Sarah had never been stuck. She'd loved our family dinners. She'd helped Emma pick out interview outfits. She'd sent Emma birthday cards and graduation gifts. She'd cried when Dad left because she knew how much it all of us. Sarah had been perfect for our family. Perfect for me. And I destroyed her because my sister thought I was a who would never amount to anything. Emma, I said slowly, carefully. Sarah was the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, obviously not if broke home. She didn't know. She didn't know what I'd done or why I'd done it. She was just casually dismissing the woman I'd loved. The woman I'd betrayed. The woman who had been nothing but kind to her. I finished cleaning the broken plate in silence. Emma went back to planning her wedding. That night, driving home to my sad little apartment, I realized something that made me pull over and on the side of the road. I hadn't just lost Sarah because I'd cheated. I'd lost her because I'd let other people's opinions matter more than her love. I traded something real for something meaningless. I'd chosen temporary validation over permanent happiness. And the people whose opinions I'd prioritized, they were never going to see me differently anyway. Emma would always see me as her brother who worked construction. Mom would always see me as the son who couldn't keep a good woman. My coworkers would always see me as the guy who couldn't be trusted. But Sarah had seen me as someone worth loving, someone worth building a future with, someone worth sacrificing for. And I'd thrown it all away for people who would never love me the way she had. It's been 6 months now, and the pain hasn't gotten smaller, it's just gotten more familiar. Like a broken that healed wrong and aches every time it rains. I see her sometimes around town. She looks happy, lighter, like a weight has been lifted off her shoulders. The weight of loving someone who didn't love himself enough to deserve it. Her new boyfriend is everything I'm not. Educated, ambitious. The kind of man who probably never makes her question her worth or wonder if she's crazy for thinking something's wrong. The kind of man I could have been if I'd chosen to grow instead of cheat. I'm writing this as a warning to anyone who thinks betrayal is about the person betraying. It's not. It's about who choose to become when think no one is watching. It's about the moment decide that temporary feelings matter more than permanent people. It's about choosing to break something beautiful because you're too broken to believe deserve it. Emma's wedding is next month. I'm not invited. Not because of any drama, but because we've drifted apart since Thanksgiving. Turns out when stop sacrificing everything for someone, they stop seeing as useful. Mom says Emma chose a small ceremony. Just close friends and David's family. No room for her brother who couldn't even keep a girlfriend. She's not wrong. I'll probably drive by the venue that day. Not to crash it, just to see that I helped build celebrating without me. To remember that some choices can't be undone, some words can't be unsaid, and some people can't be unloved, no matter how hard try. Sarah was right about one thing. People who love each other don't do what I did. And now I get to spend the rest of my knowing exactly what love looks like, because I had it once and chose to destroy it with my own hands.